guys, this is Christy Fulk with Create with Christy. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the US. Well, today I'm going to teach you how to make a potted plant card for a friend using the Plentiful Plants Bundle from Stampin' Up! This is a new bundle that's in the annual catalog. I really like it. I knew I was going to like it when I first saw it, but I thought, well, it's probably not going to be one of my favorites, but I do like it, so I got it. Well, I am so glad I got it, because when I made this card, it's like, oh yes, I'm so glad I got this. It's a lot of fun to play with. And I also use the Designer Series paper that coordinates with it. It's called Bloom Where You're Planted. And both of these items come in the Bloom Where You're Planted suite that's in the annual catalog. And there's one other product in the suite that I did not use. And I'm going to show you the paper and everything that comes in that suite here in just a minute, so you can see all the beautiful designs in this paper. So many possibilities with it. So now if you want to make this card with me, you can pause the video, click on that blog post link below in the video description, and you'll find the dimensions for the card and the supplies list. You can get everything together. If you don't have everything and you're wanting to get some of the supplies that you don't have, I've got an online store link below in the video description as well, and you can place an order there. And don't forget to use my Doily Rewards host code. If you click the Doily Rewards program link below, you'll get all the information. You can earn a $50 shopping spree from me if you collect 10 doilies, so you can just check that out too. Okay, so are you ready to get started with this card? It's so much fun. First off, I'm going to show you all the products in the suite. First off, I want to show you the bundle that comes in the Bloom Where You're Planted suite. This is the Plentiful Plants Bundle. You can purchase these separately, but if you purchase them as a bundle, you save 10%, so it's quite a deal. And I love that we can do hanging baskets with this set. And you can see how there are dies that die cut the images out. I don't think there's one for this. Oh no, there is one for this one. So yeah, all the images have dies. We've got some really nice greetings in here. And I'll show you the dies that we're going to need for this card. You want the hanging basket. I had to make a hanging basket. This one here and this one here. And those will be all the dies that we use. And the stamps we're going to use this one here, this one, this one. Let's see, the To a Dear Friend, and the You Were There, I'm Very Grateful, and I'm Very Grateful. So those will be all the stamps that you need. Let's go ahead and put this to the side, and then let me show you the embellishment that's with this. What is this one called? These are called Paper Lattice. I couldn't think of the name of that. Isn't that neat? I love this. One side might be a little lighter. You can tell which side is the side you want to use. Now this one just didn't work for the layout I was using, but I promise you I will use this on another card. It is so cool. I really like this. Gives you that retro 70s look kind of too. Really like those. They're kind of a craft color. And then the beautiful Designer Series paper. We've got this sheet here. This one is perfect where you can cut it in half and make little card fronts with it. Just so many different things you can do. Scrapbook page you could cut in half and have one be the border of your pages, things like that. And here's the other side to it, a really neat texture. And this is a 12 by 12 sheet. You get six double-sided designs, 2 of each, for $11.50. Aren't those neat? So you could fussy cut those out. They just make nice little strips. And then we've got a neat wood plank one. Then we've got this one, and this one can actually, some of these images can be die cut with the dies. Let me grab this die here. See that one? We'll die cut that one out. There's one to do this one. There's one to do that one. I can't remember all the dies, but there are a lot of different images you can die cut with from the paper. And then here's the side for that one. Then we've got this one with a bunch of pots, and the pot dies will die cut most of these. Like this one will do that one. There's one for this one and that one. I can't remember if there's one for this one. And then we've got this side. I think that one's neat. Then we've got a brick wall. This is what I'm going to be using on my card. Then we've got this pretty side. This would be pretty for Christmas cards for sure. Then we've got this side, which I'm using on the card, and another gray brick or a white brick. So another neat pack of Designer Series paper. So that's everything in the Bloom Where You're Planted suite. Okay, let's go ahead and get started with this card, and we're going to do some stamping. Now this is a photopolymer set, so I'm going to bring in my trusty Stampin' Pierce mat. Going to grab a piece of basic white that is 2 1/4 by 3 1/4. And this is where I'm going to stamp the plant images I'm going to die cut. So first grab the garden green ink pad and this big leaf die here. And you are going to love the detail in this, the shading actually. I don't know if you can see that. It's got little texture to it. I really like the look of that. You can see how there's little places that are a little bit darker than the others. Now you're really going to see it in the pot. Actually, both the pots that I'll be using today. For the front of the card, we're going to use this one here. Oh, and I did forget another stamp. You are going to need this one. That's going to be in the inside of the card. And you're also going to need this one. I knew I was forgetting a couple stamps. I wasn't sure. Okay, so I'm going to grab my Cajun Craze. I'm only using 2 ink pads with this card, the Garden Green and the Cajun Craze. There are 2 colors that are in that designer series paper. There we go. Now you can see the shading for sure with the pot. Isn't that neat? Love that little darkening. Oh, such a neat set. I didn't notice that it did this. I should have looked at the images better in the catalog because I know it shows that. Okay, now I'm going to grab the little piece of basic white. This is a 2.5 by 1/2 inch piece. And let's go ahead. I'm going to show you a little trick here. Actually, let's go ahead and stamp first, then I'll show you the trick later. I forgot I changed that up a little bit. When you make cards, you have to try, sometimes you try things a couple times, and I forgot I went with the second option. So let's go ahead. Oh, sorry, I jiggled the camera just then. Stamp the to a friend, dear friend, on the right side, because we're going to do a little banner over here. So I'm going to put that in my little pot there, so I don't lose that. And let's go ahead, while we've got the stamps out, and stamp the inside of the card. So grab your big basic white piece. This is a 4 by 5 1/4 inch piece. And I'm going to bring that pot in. I forgot to tell you to get. I thought, oh, I've got to use this pot. It looks pretty neat. And this one, you're going to see a bunch of shading with it too. And just stamp that in the bottom left corner. See how it made that dark? Isn't that cool? I love what they can do with stamps now. And I'm going to grab this, I'm not really sure what that is. Maybe a cactus type thing or a ornamental grass maybe. Stamp that right on top. There we go. So we've got a nice little potted plant on the inside. Okay, now I'm going to stamp the greeting. I thought this one that says, "You were there and I'm very grateful," is a good one that starts off with "To a dear friend." I'm going to stamp it with Cajun Craze. Put it near the top, not all the way to the top. Just kind of put it right there. The reason I didn't go any higher up is because I wanted to put a little swag up there. And here's the swag stamp. And I'm going to stamp it with Garden Green. And kind of put it here near the middle. There we go. I just thought that was a nice little accent to put on the top. And let's go ahead and put this inside the card because I'm always afraid I'm going to lose that. Now that is all the stamping we're going to do, so we can get that out of the way. Grab your big evening evergreen piece. Now I'm doing a different type of, it's still just a regular fold your card stock in half, but it's a little different than the cards I normally make. This one is a 4 1/4 by 11. And I have found whenever you do it this half of the card, the long half, you need to really score that. There's something about the card fibers. When we do the regular crossways half, the grains lets you fold it in half really easy. But when it's the vertical, I have found that it does not like to fold. It's just the way the card fibers are. So I'm going to line this up in my paper trimmer at the 5 1/2 inch mark and make sure I have my light colored blade because that's the one that scores. And score that a few times, and that's going to make it so much easier to fold now. If you don't have a scoring tool, you don't have to. This just makes it a lot easier to fold. Get my bone folder, get that nice crease. Okay, now let's go ahead and get this into our card. So turn this over. Oh, get my adhesive started here. There we go. Whenever that happens, just roll it up until that adhesive is right there at the tip. And then it works with no problem, because what happens is if you don't do that check mark, it'll tear the adhesive down here near the bottom, and then it won't stick. So just roll it up a little bit, and then it works just fine. So we'll open this up and put this. Oh, I got a little bit of glue there. Let me get this up on the screen again. Put this right in the middle. And we've got the inside done. Isn't that cool? I just like the inside too. Okay, I'll put this over to the side, and now we'll do some die cutting. Okay, first off, let's go ahead and do some embossing. I'm using the Brick and Mortar 3D folder. We've had this for a couple years. Love this folder. I use it a lot, and I thought this would be perfect with that brick wallpaper, the Brick Designer Series paper that I'll be using. So I'm going to grab platform number 1. This is the big base plate. And then grab a piece of gray granite. This is 4 by 5 1/4. Now I want the bricks to be going this way, so this is how I'm going to have to put it in my folder. And I'm going to make sure that the bottom edge lines up with that line right there. And here's my fold, so it goes in first. And grab the specialty plate that also comes with our die cutting machine. I love that we get all the plates with the machine. Put this through, or the ones that you need. There's the specialty plate, the cutting plate, the die plate, and the platform plate. Okay, and here we go. So we've got our little brick wall. If you don't have this, you really need to get it. I love it. It's got the 3D. There's some of the bricks are a little lower and some of them are higher. I just think that is so cool. Okay, put that done. We're done with the embossing. So to die cut, you still need platform number 1, then the die plate, and then the other 2 plates that come in with the machine. The standard cutting plate, we'll just put 1 here for now. And then I'm going to grab these 2 images here and grab the dies that we need. Actually, I could probably grab my gray granite too. This one is a small piece of gray granite, 1 3/4 by 3 1/2. I think I can do all these at the same time. This one is going to be for the hanging plant. Here's for my leaves. Just line that image directly inside that opening of the die. And then the potted plant. Now if you want to use masking tape, or not masking, yeah, masking tape would work, washi tape would work better. You can do that to hold those dies in place, but what I do, I take the front, angle it down, put it down against the plate, the bottom plate, and then bring this down kind of like a hatchback door. Nice and slow, and then it doesn't move on you. Usually. Put that through. Once all the dies have gone underneath this thing, then I can take my hand off of it. And now these are all ready to go. Let's get these dies in here so I don't lose them. And we've got our nice pot. And I love how all these just fall out. Voila. So there's our, oh, I'm sorry, I got all this. Hopefully you saw me take those out. There's that. Forgot how close I was to the camera. And the leaves. So we have got all the die cutting done and the embossing done. So we'll get this out of the way and we'll finish the card. Okay, let's go ahead and grab those 2 Designer Series paper pieces. I'm going to start saying DSP. That makes it a lot faster. So whenever you hear DSP, it means Designer Series paper. Here's the brick wall. This one is 4 by 1 1/2. And this is the foliage one. It's 5 1/4 by 1 1/2. Now I wanted to make a little banner here, so I grabbed my tailored tag punch. This you can find in the annual catalog. I'm going to turn it upside down. And I want one on the bottom of this one. So I'm going to put this in here. I don't know if you can tell. Let me bring this up. You can see where the punch is right here. I line the corners of the DSP right at the bottom of the inside part of the punch. So I'm going to put this in here. I'm going to kind of close it just a little bit, not a lot, not enough to punch it. It just kind of tightens things up a little bit and helps me get it straight. And try to get that in the middle. Pop. Then we've got our banner. And then we've got this one. Now this one I want to be on the left side. It really doesn't matter, just make sure it's on one of the, because the bricks can go either which way. Just make sure it's one of the short ends. And we're going to do it the same way, kind of tighten it up just a little bit, enough that I can still move the cardstock a little bit. Get that right in the middle. Line those corners up. There we go. And I'm even going to do that with my little one here. Now this one, you just kind of eyeball it. There's my to a friend, so I'm going to make sure I don't see that anymore. And make it so that just looks like it's even here and in the middle. There we go. Pop. And we've got that one done. Now I could also have used our, what was it called? Pick a banner punch, I think is what it's called. That one would work beautifully with this too. But I just wanted to get one punch out for this time to show you that you could do it with a small one too. Okay, I always like to show you different options you can use with our punches. Now we'll put this together. I'm going to grab that brick wall that we just got done with, and let's put the brick banner on first. So I'm just going to make sure I've got adhesive all the way across this short end, and make sure I have some in this little point here on my banner and along the long side. And I want the banner part to be on the left, and kind of put it in the middle, but line your straight edge of your banner with the right straight edge of the brick. Okay, and this one, put the adhesive on just like you did with a brick wall. And we're covering up the other brick wall. And then you're going to put this one over on the right side, line the top edges together. That also helps you get it nice and straight when you put it on. So let's go ahead and put that on our card base. We'll bring this back in. Put our adhesive on here. I love that I can use our new seal on my embossed layers. It holds it really well. I keep things up on shelves vertically, and I haven't had them fall off yet. So I love our new seal. Okay, so I've got that there. Now we'll go ahead and start putting together the rest of the card. Let's go ahead and put this piece. This is a, let me see here, a 4 1/4 by, no it isn't. Oh, I'm sorry, this is the 2 1/4 by 3 1/4. The one that die cut all the plants, that one was a 4 1/4 by 2. I was looking at my thing wrong. So this one is the medium-sized one. When you do this one, you see the difference. Make sure you do the longer one. This is the one that's going to go on the rectangle here. You wouldn't be able to fit, you probably figure that out anyway, because you wouldn't be able to fit both of those images on this piece. Okay. Put that right there in the center. Okay. And let's go ahead and put this on the card base. Make sure you get it definitely in the corners. Looks like I missed this corner. There we go. Along those long sides. And I want to make sure I still see that designer series paper, so I'm kind of move it over a little bit. It's going to be kind of in the center, just wherever it looks good to you. That looks pretty good to me, so put that right there. And now we're going to start putting that plant together. And I'm going to show you a trick. I've shown this in my online classes, but I don't think I've shown it publicly yet. If you've got our silicone craft mat, get that out. If you don't have one, you're going to want to get this, especially when you have this trick. Grab our multi-purpose glue and an old sponge. This one is one I use for glue, so it's kind of tacky. I just make sure I always have it with my glue bottle. We are going to put a nice little dab of glue right there. I probably put more than I needed, but that's okay. And the neat thing was, I wanted to show you the trick with this. This is me making the card yesterday. I don't know if you can see all the shiny glue there. This is actually where the big glob was. Watch how easy this is to peel off. That's it. And I've got this little thing. I guess you can cut a little snot thing and throw that away. So all of these will just come right off after they dry. So that's why I get that silicone mat out. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, I'm going to take that hanging basket and do this on the back. You can kind of tell one side feels a little more rounded and one is flat. That's going to be your back. Just make sure the one that looks the best is on the front. Make that face down. And we only need to have glue right now, right along here, okay? So I'm gonna grab a little bit. If it's too much, just take a little bit off. We're gonna do it right here, just on where the potted plant's gonna be, okay? Then I'm gonna take this, and we're gonna put it right there. Just kind of move it around. The nice thing having glue, you can still move it around some, get it right where you want it. Okay, so that's ready to go. Now we've got our little potted plant here, and I think this is the easier way to do this. You can use it, you can also just put a little glue on the tip. I'm gonna put a mini glue dot right here on the front bottom. It's okay if you still see it hanging off like mine is. And then I'm gonna put that right in the back. There we go. So now we've got that on there. Everything's nice and on there really good. And we'll go ahead and put this over to the side. Now I'm going to put some adhesive on a few of the leaves here. And then, of course, here on the pot. And then I'm going to lay this down right here. I'm going to make this top part still be within the white, and I'm okay with this bottom part going onto the green. I kind of like that look. Okay, we can lay that down. Now, if you're worried about this sticking up, what you can do is go ahead and grab a glue dot. You really don't need this, but it will hold it down a little better. Let me, oh, there we go. I couldn't find my take your pick tool. You can just grab one here, because we're going to put a little embellishment on the back of this. So you can put your glue dot right back there. Make sure it's underneath really good. It's okay if it's going to show in that hole there. There, now it's holding it down. Because I'm not going to have to worry about that, because I'm going to put a little embellishment there. And the embellishments are the gilded gems, and these are in the annual catalog. And I'm going to grab one of the small ones. I thought we needed a little bit of bling on here. So I'm going to pick this up, I'm going to scoot it off, and then it sticks to the putty on the Take Your Pick tool. And just put that right there. So yeah, you really should put a glue dot on the bottom of this hanger. I forgot. It's thick enough that the adhesive, the little glue dot on the back of the gem does not reach the paper. So do put a little glue dot on the back of that. There we go. The reason I didn't put it on the glue on the back of this, it gets real messy when you're messing around with this. So it's better just to put the glue on this part, put this on with a glue dot, then put a glue dot on the back of this and pop it down. And put your adhesive, your seal on the back of the potted plant, of course, too. Okay, hope that made sense. Okay, so we've got the front of the card almost done. We're gonna grab our greeting, and I wanted this to be raised up a little bit. So I'm gonna put dimensionals on it, and the full-size ones work fine. If you wanna use the mini ones, go ahead and do that too. These just fit. What I do is make sure the flat sides are on the top and bottom. Take my Take Your Pick tool. Oops, there we go. I think I had a glue on my fingers. And this is gonna go right here. I wanna make sure it's within the card. Actually, I wanna keep it on the gray. You can have it go on your green, that's fine. There we go. And we are done with this card. And I like how it folds a little different. Now we've got our inside. So I hope you enjoyed today's card. This was a lot of fun for me to make. This could be a masculine card, but you could also give it to a girlfriend who loves plants. Just anybody can have this card, because the colors are good for a masculine card too. So we're always looking for the good masculine cards. Okay, well, I hope you enjoyed today's card. And if you want to stamp with me again, make sure to subscribe to my channel. You can do that by clicking that little subscribe button you see below in the bottom of the right-hand screen. And then when you do that, when you see that little bell icon, click on that and select all. That way you'll be notified from YouTube, every time I upload a video. And if you live in the United States and do not have a demonstrator of your own, I would love to be yours. Here are the 2 current catalogs. And if you don't have them, I can mail them out to you. Now this one is only good through the end of this month, June 30th, 2021. But the annual catalog just started last month, so we've still got a lot of time with this catalog. But I can mail these out to you. Just click that contact me link below in the video description, and I'll get these mailed out to you right away. But that's only if you live in the United States and do not have a demonstrator of your own. Okay, now we'll come back to the cards. I hope you enjoyed today's card, and I hope to see you in the next video. Have a great day, guys. Bye.